Check, check, check.
Yeah. That's how he got very quick with his words. The second Monday, right, of every month, so it's August.
Yeah, so it's gonna be August 8th.
No, second, third.
Seems to be so much to make.
Second.
Shortly. To order, could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic Megan, will you call the roll?
Trustee Lautner,
Here.
Trustee Zora,
Here.
Trustee Seidel,
Here.
Trustee Council,
Here.
Trustee Sheehan,
Here.
Trustee Stewart,
Here.
President DeCipio.
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Okay, first thing on the agenda is public participation of agenda-related items only. If anyone would care to address the board, please step up to the mic. On agenda-related items.
I just have a question, basically.
Please have your name and spell, could
I'm
you spell
sorry.
your last name for us so we can
Sure,
record
Rick
it
Rius,
properly?
last name's R-I-U-S. And I'm not sure if it's on the agenda, but are we talking about tonight about the development proposed for, with Nuclear Society is right now?
No.
No, not at all? Okay. I was going to ask you about that.
Okay, you can ask for it later on in the meeting at the end.
Oh, okay,
We'll
sounds
have
good. All
public participation of non-agenda related items.
right, sounds good, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Anyone else care to speak to the board? Okay, if not, we'll move on. Consent agenda, Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, Village Board meeting, June 22nd, 2021. 2, special board meeting, July 10th, 2021. 3, executive session meeting, July 10th, 2021. 4, Village Board work session meeting, July 13th, 2021. 5, executive session meeting, July 13th, 2021. B, action, fiscal year 21-22 sewer cleaning and televising, Edwin Hancock Engineering Agreement. Motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute agreements between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for engineering services in an amount not to exceed $7,500 for design and construction engineering for the 2021-2022 sewer cleaning and televising program. C, action 2021-2022 sewer repair program engineering agreement. Motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute agreements between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for engineering services in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for design and construction engineering for the 2021-2022 sewer repair program. D, action fiscal year 21-22 sewer lining program, Edwin Hancock Engineering Agreement. Motion to approve and authorize the village manager to execute agreements between the Village of LaGrange Park and Edwin Hancock Engineering for engineering services in an amount not to exceed $16,000 for design and construction engineering for the 2021-2022 sewer lining project. E, action, motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. F, action, motion to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Thank you, Megan. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on, village manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have just one item to report on this evening, which is not included in the packet, but you may have seen in the weekly electronic newsletter, our e-briefs. The village, along with the Community Park District, is hosting an event coming up called Coffee at Yena Park that will be held on Saturday, August 14th at 9 a.m. We encourage and invite residents from the community to come to this event, join us for coffee. We'll have a conversation about public safety, answer any questions that the public may have. It's sure to be a great discussion, and we look forward to seeing you there. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. I would like to introduce two people in the audience tonight that are very near and dear to our hearts, and that's Jessica, the Executive Director of the Park District, and Lucy, the President of the Board. Thank you both for coming. We look forward to our opportunity to be together on the 14th. The 14th, right? 14th. Got it right. Thank you. Okay, Administration Committee, Trustee Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. This report is quite brief. National Night Out. This year's National Night Out event will take place over 2 days with both in-person and virtual events. A parade will be held on Monday, August 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. and a National Night In event will take place on Tuesday, August 3rd at 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday's event will be completely virtual, and streamed live on Facebook. Event details, including the parade route, will be posted on the village's website and the police department's Facebook page. Youth Commission vacancy. The village is seeking one new member to serve on the Youth Commission. This is a great opportunity for students in grades 7 through 12 to engage with their peers on community issues. Meetings are held once a month on Monday evenings from September through June. Visit the village's website to learn more and apply by August 6th. Village news. Residents are encouraged to sign up for the village's weekly electronic newsletter, better known as e-briefs, to stay up to date on important local news. E-briefs includes regular updates to keep residents informed of construction projects and recent efforts to address local flooding. To subscribe, visit the village's website, navigate to the How Do I page, and select Sign Up for E-briefs newsletter. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Council. Moving on to Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Zora.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the building department activities for June 2021. 132 building permits were issued in June compared to 146 last June. There have been 528 permits issued so far this year compared to 391 last year. Estimated construction costs for the month were around $2.3 million, approximately 27% more compared to last June. Permit fees collected for the month were just over $47,000, approximately 7% more compared to last June. 234 inspections were conducted in June compared to 131 last June. 14 were not approved. 979 inspections have been conducted compared to 534 last year. There were 15 code enforcement property maintenance matters addressed this month. Staff participated in a pre-application meeting with Plymouth Place and their design team regarding an East Campus redevelopment. Staff also is working through code reinforcement or code requirements with an architect on the proposed greenhouse addition to the facility. Staff issued the permit for the expansion of Murphy's transmission and complete auto repair. Staff responded to a large private water main break on Bethlehem Woods along with PW and fire. Staff had to address various issues related to shutting down water, supporting cooling equipment, and impacts to fire protection systems and other safety issues. Staff conducted inspections for the court project taking place at Memorial Park. Staff issued additional notices removing swings and similar equipment from parkway trees. This is being addressed based on complaints. Staff assisted with evaluating damage at homes struck by vehicles on the 400 block of the Grange Road. Staff is following up on a complaint about feral cats in the 600 block of Harding. Staff fielded questions and participated in various meetings and site visits related to the heavy rains. I have one item that's for discussion and action. This is an item that we've been reviewing for the past several years. In 2015, Nazareth Academy was granted a variance from the village board to install permanent lights on the existing football field. The purpose of the lights was to allow for evening practices and sporting events. The village board's approval of the variation for the lights was conditioned upon several items, including a reduction to 5 night football games per year and the requirement to obtain an exception from the village's nuisances regulations in order to operate their sound system past 9 p.m. during the football night games. In accordance with the zoning approval, Nazareth Academy has submitted a temporary use permit application requesting an exception to the nuisance regulations regarding noise for the following night games: August 27th, September 24th, October 8th, October 15th, and October 22nd. The games will begin at 7 p.m. and are anticipated to conclude by 10 p.m. Village staff may approve the event as permitted temporary use in accordance with Section 153.195 of the Village Municipal Code, but cannot approve the event to operate past 9 p.m. due to village nuisance restrictions. Section 93.04.c.5 of the Village Municipal Code classifies all loud and discordant noises or vibrations of any kind between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. a nuisance. The Municipal Code permits the village board to approve an exception to the nuisance restrictions for temporary uses. As such, should the village board approve an exception to nuisance restrictions specific to the identified date, village staff will approve their temporary use application. Staff recommends that the village board grant a specific exception to the village noise restrictions in accordance with the authority as contained in section 93.04.c.5 of the municipal code. I would like to make a motion to grant an exception to the nuisance regulations contained in section 93.04.c.5 as amended of the village municipal code for the purpose of allowing Nazareth Academy to operate their sound system until 10 p.m. on August 27th, September 24th, October 8th, 15th, and October 22nd of 2021.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion, trustee Zora?
Thank you. As I said, we've done this ever since 2015. I see no reason not to approve this. As far as I know, we don't have any issues with these games, Chief Contois. We don't have any, yeah. So I see no reason not to approve this and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Zora. Trustee Stewart?
Second, Zora's approval as well. Looks like an annual thing that we do when they request this relief, so I approve Zora.
Thank you, trustee Stewart. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. They've been good neighbors for this last 6 years. I don't see why we shouldn't support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Seidel?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree with everything that has been said. I don't see why we wouldn't approve this, so I'm in full support.
Thank you, trustee Lautner?
I support.
Thank you, and trustee Council?
I support.
Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner.
Yes.
Trustee Zora.
Yes.
Trustee Seidel.
Yes.
Trustee Council.
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan.
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee Zora. Moving on to engineering capital projects, trustee Stewart?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 3 items on the engineering and capital project summary report. The first item being on June 8th, the village publicly opened sealed bids for the Grange Road Water Main Replacement Project, Phase 2. 7 firms submitted bids for the project. The low bidder was Suburban General Construction. The village officially awarded them the contract on June 22nd. Work will begin on this project in August. The project will install 12-inch water main from the intersection of Garfield Avenue and LaGrange Road northward through private easements and public right-of-way to the northern connection point to the existing water main on LaGrange Road in the alley north of 31st Street. The second item, design was completed for the 2020 CDBG grant paving program. IDOT and Cook County have approved the project plans and specifications, and the bid date of July 27th was set, which is today. The project involves spot curb replacement, pavement patching, and street resurfacing on Meadowcrest Road between 29th and 31st Street, and Woodside Road between 29th Street and Meadowcrest Road. The third and final item, design is continuing for the MWRD Green Initiative Permeable Pavement Intersection Project. Required soil borings were taken on June 11th to document the underlying soil permeability characteristics. The project involves creating a permeable pavement at the intersections of Moreau Avenue with Community Drive, Robin Hood Lane, and Sherwood Road. The replacing pavement will be excavated to about 3.5 feet in depth and replaced with crushed stone that will allow the water to seep into it. The surface of the street will be then set with decorative brick pavers. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, trustee Stewart. Public Safety Committee, trustee Seidel?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Police Department summary of activities for June 2021. Total number of crimes this year are higher than last year at this time, with 223 reported this year compared to 155 last year. Traffic enforcement is at 1712 total tickets issued through June of 2021. Overall police activity is slightly lower to last year, with 43 total incidents reported through June of 2021 compared to 3734 total incidents through June of 2020. Some members of the police department took part in the annual Illinois Special Olympics torch run on June 6th. Several hours of filming took place within and outside the police department for the virtual National Night Out event. Thanks to LTTV for assisting us with this event. Mark your calendars and do not miss out on the upcoming police department special events. Citizens Police Academy, Saturday, September 18th through October 23rd, 2021 from 9 to 11 a.m. in the Village Hall Boardroom. Contact Officer Chris Dempsey at 708-352-7711 for further info, or stop into PD to pick up an application. National Night Out. This year's National Night Out will take place over a 2-day period with a parade through town on Monday, August 2nd from 6 to 8 p.m. and a virtual event on Tuesday, August 3rd at 6 p.m. Please check out our Facebook page and village website for more information, along with a map of the parade route. Friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residence, especially during overnight hours. If you're going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.com/LaGrange Park, or log into the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, please feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the PD between hours of 9 and 4:30. That concludes the police department report. Next, fire department activities for June of 2021. As requested for insertion in the village board meeting agenda, following the summary police department activity highlights. EMS incidents this month, 157. There have been 848 year-to-date compared to 762 year-to-date in 2020. Fire rescue incidents this month, 49. There have been 245 year-to-date compared to 235 total year-to-date in 2020. Various personnel attended the annual 4-day Fire College event at the Fire Service Institute, located at the campus of the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. Personnel participated in a variety of training in burn buildings on the campus, training under live fire conditions. The monthly meeting training on SOGs and pre-incident plans was held in the Station Number 1 Fire Apparatus Bay. This is the first time this particular training meeting has been held in person since the beginning of the pandemic. Staff participated in the GIS strategic alignment meeting, where various strategic goals were discussed regarding our evolving GIS implementation. The majority of staff underwent their annual medical evaluations with our on-site fire service occupational health provider. Final fire sprinkler inspections took place at new homes at 31 Richmond and 539 North Stone. And that concludes the fire department report.
Thank you, Trustee Seidel. Okay, next is Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. For June, DPW repaired 2 water main breaks and replaced 2 lead service lines, which were leaking, with 1-inch copper pipe. Staff rebuilt a fire hydrant at 420 Edgewood with a modification kit, which began to leak during the section's hydrant flushing program. The brush program continued the first full week in June, making multiple passes through town. Severe weather affected the area this month, which led to flooding and tree damage. Crews were called in to mitigate flooded areas and attend to tree damage. Another sweep of the town for brush was completed, along with tree removals and trimming. Numerous parkway repairs were completed, from excavation from utility repairs. As previously mentioned, DPW and FD assisted at Bethlehem Woods for their water main break. GIS work has continued collecting data on village-owned assets, along with training throughout the village. Water meters were read in Section 3. 15 monthly bacterial samples were taken. Various water and sewer work orders were completed, along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Many water and sewer service calls were completed, along with meter appointments, inspections, and duly locates. Routine maintenance to the department's fleet and equipment was performed, as well as to police and fire vehicles. Next, we have the Core and Main invoice. The purpose is to approve the invoice with Core and Main for the upkeep of the village's census water meter reading infrastructure. In May of 2015, the village agreed with Core and Main, formerly HD Supply, to host the village's water meter system data and provide yearly maintenance to the system. Each year, this invoice is submitted and needs village approval, since it's over the village manager's authorization. Budgeted water distribution is $19,800 under 570,53000. Core and Main received a cost increase from census, which took effect after our current budget was finalized. The same fund can't absorb the increase. Staff recommends approval of payment at tonight's meeting to Core and Main in the amount of $20,150. Therefore, Mr. President, at this time, I make a motion to approve a payment of a core and main invoice in the amount of $20,150.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. Discussion, trustee Sheehan?
As I stated, sir, it's our yearly contract with them for the upkeep of our data for water meter. I support this.
Thank you, trustee Sheehan. Trustee Council?
I have, I support this as well.
Thank you, trustee Council. Trustee Seidel?
I support this as well.
Thank you, trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Continuation of an approved program, I support it.
Thank you, trustee Zora?
I support this.
Trustee Stewart?
I support this as well.
Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, lastly, sir, I have a 2021-2022 MFD General Maintenance Resolution. The purpose is to approve a resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code. General background, MFD funds are used to perform maintenance-related activity in the street right-of-way. These activities include street light and traffic signal maintenance, electricity for streetlights, sidewalk replacement, pavement markings, crack sealing, road salt, and materials for street maintenance. The village must request expenditures and have authorization for use of MFT funds annually from IDOT. A resolution for maintenance of streets and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code has been prepared to outline the maintenance operation expenses. In this fiscal year, the village has budgeted in the MFT fund $448,974 for this work. Staff recommends approval at tonight's meeting. Therefore, Mr. President, make a motion to approve a resolution for maintenance of street and highways by municipality under the Illinois Highway Code for the expenditure of $448,974 in MFT funds.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion, trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think we do this yearly to enter into the resolution to cover the funds for the spending for the year, so I support this.
Thank you, trustee Zora?
I also support this.
Thank you, trustee Stewart?
I support it as well.
Trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. You may recall that I had asked this to be eliminated from the consent agenda and wanted to spend just a little bit more time given the size of this request and make sure that I understood the source as well as the use of these funds, which I've since followed up with staff and had the clarifications. So understanding that's a good example of the funds coming back into the community from the taxation in the motor fuel area. So I certainly support it.
Thank you, trustee Lautner. Trustee Council?
Support, Mr. President.
Thank you, and trustee Seidel?
I support as well.
Thank you. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner,
Yes.
Trustee Zora,
Yes.
Trustee Seidel,
Yes.
Trustee Council,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
That's all I have tonight, sir.
And thank you, trustee Sheehan. Moving on, Finance Committee, trustee Lautner?
Thank you, Mr. President. Financial report as of June 30, 2021 is as follows. Fiscal year-to-date general fund revenue is at 12.1% of the annual budget and about $346,000 or 45.7% greater than the prior year. Property tax receipts are up about $48,000 or 305% compared to the prior year. However, this is due to a timing variance as the first installment of the 2020 tax bills were due in March, but late fees were postponed until May due to the pandemic. The village typically receives a very small amount of property tax in May and June. Other local taxes are lower by about $3,200 or 3.1% due to the continued decline in telecommunications tax. Intergovernmental receipts are higher by about $261,000 or almost 64% compared to last year. Income tax is 93.5% higher than last year, while sales tax is up by 40.6%. Personal property replacement tax is up by 160%. The income tax increase is partially due to the postponement of the filing due dates in 2020 and 2021. The due date was moved to July in 2020 and May in 2021. The Illinois Municipal League has reported that the PPRT increases, personal property tax increases, are a result of the COVID-19 impacts on timing of tax payments and increased revenues from specific industries. The IML is projecting significantly lower property tax distributions later this year. License revenue is down by about $3,100 or 58.6% from the prior year. Most license revenue is collected later in the year. Permit receipts are up 70% or about $38,500 compared to the prior year. Charges for services are higher by about $14,000 or 10.6% due to greater ambulance fee receipts. Fine revenue is lower by $9,300 or 27.5% as compared to the prior year. The pandemic has impacted court fine receipts, and the state comptroller has suspended its collection of past due amounts for those eligible based on reported income. And miscellaneous revenue is essentially flat compared to the previous year. Total general fund expenditures, excluding the transfer to the capital projects fund, are at 12.9% of the annual budget and about $103,000 or 9.7% higher than last year. The increase is primarily due to personnel expenditures in the police department as vacancies in the prior year were filled. All departments are within budget expectations. Let me say that again. All departments are within budget expectations, and I extend appreciation to all departments that are managing these. And that concludes my financial report this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Wadner. Okay, moving on to other reports, our village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you, Megan. Our village treasurer, Larry.
No report tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you. Our village engineer, Mark.
No report, Mr. President.
Our village attorney, Debbie.
I have no report, Mr. President.
Okay, we'll go to the reports then. Commercial Revitalization Committee, Trustee Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 4 items to discuss. The first being that the Commercial Revitalization Committee held a kickoff meeting on July 13th. The committee reviewed its mission and vision. It discussed collaboration between the village and the Grange Park Chamber of Commerce and examined the financial and budget notes for the village's TIF and business development districts. Future CRC meetings will take place on the second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. prior to the village board work session meeting. Second item, Plaza 31, 704 to 722 East 31st Street. On July 20th, a public hearing was held before the Planning and Zoning Commission to consider 3 zoning applications for Plaza 31. The applicant provided testimony and described their plans for providing shared outdoor dining and a multi-tenant monument sign on the property. The commission voted to recommend approval of the special use permit for outdoor dining, a variation for monument sign area and height, and a variation for interior parking lot landscapes to the village board. Third item, Dubac Electric on 1201 East Barnesdale Road. The staff is continuing to work with Dubac Electric and the village's special counsel to negotiate the terms of an economic incentive for developing the property at 1201 North Barnesdale Road. Any financial assistance will be contingent upon the village board approving and executing a redevelopment agreement. Staff is also in process of reviewing Dubac Electric's proposed site plan for the property. Fourth and final item, the business scavenger hunt. There are a few days left to participate in the second annual the Grange Park Business Scavenger Hunt. This event, hosted by the Chamber of Commerce, is a great way to have fun while supporting local businesses. Punch cards are available for pickup at Village Hall. Each person 21 and over who completes the punch card by July 31st and answers all clues correctly will be entered into a raffle to win a $250 gift card. Local businesses are also offering individual raffles, coupons, and gift certificates as part of this event. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve committee and collectors report as presented.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Seidel?
Yes.
Trustee Council?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. I have a few items on my agenda. Last Wednesday, Jessica, Executive Director of the Park District, Julia, myself, Maggie, and Chief Contois met. We had discussions on the events that occurred in our village a couple weekends ago. As a result of that, we came out with one project, and that is that on August 14th, we're going to have a joint village park district presentation discussion with the residents in our village. It'll be at Yena Park starting at 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock on August 14th. So we hope everyone comes out, and we did this for a purpose so that we can communicate with our residents on the events that have occurred. Julie and I have been going around. We know how important the sewer project and flooding situation is in our village. So we have a big plan, a $10 million plan to correct it on the east side of our village, which will help the entire community. It's a $10 million project in total, so we're looking at help from some grants. So we've met with legislators. Last week we took a ride down to Chicago, and Julie and I met with Representative LaShawn Ford. He was very supportive. Sunday we met, Sunday morning, the Speaker of the House came to my house, and Julie, myself, and Jermaine met with him and bent his ear on the money that we need and his support. We have a meeting on Friday with Representative Zaleski. That'll be our third representative that we'll hit, and hopefully with all three of them we can get the support that we need for them to pass the grant that we need to continue this project. We're also going to meet with Frank Perry, who's the new president of Westchester, and the administrative staff there. We feel we're getting global now. We need to reach out to our surrounding neighbors with new people that are on board so that we can work with them in a joint venture down the road. I have one proclamation that I'd like to read. And I'd like to thank Chief Contois for the shirts for National Night Out. Thank you. I've got 3 now. Okay, National Night Out 2021. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch, NATW, is sponsoring a unique nationwide drug and violence prevention program on August 2nd and 3rd, 2021, entitled National Night Out. The National Night Out provides a unique opportunity for the village of LaGrange Park to join forces with thousands of other communities across the country in promoting cooperative police community crime prevention efforts. Whereas the village of LaGrange Park's police department plays a vital role in assisting the Cook County Sheriff's Department and other law enforcement agencies through joint crime, drug, and violence prevention efforts in the village of LaGrange Park, and is supporting National Night Out 2021. It is essential that all citizens of the village of LaGrange Park be aware of the importance of crime prevention programs and the impact that their participation can have on reducing crime, drugs, and violence in the village of LaGrange Park. Whereas police community partnerships, neighborhood safety, awareness, and cooperation are important themes of the National Night Out program, now therefore be it proclaimed that Tuesday, August 2nd and Wednesday, August 3rd be recognized as National Night Out in the village of LaGrange Park. Okay, so that's all that I have, and now we're going to move into public participation of non-agenda related items. So if anyone would care to address the board, please come up to the mic, state your name, first and last, and if you could spell your last name for Megan here so she can record it properly, that would be greatly appreciated. There'll be a 3-minute time limit for the speakers.
My name is Jeremy Vitell, V as in Victor, I-T-E-L-L. Do we say where our address is anymore? No, okay. Hi, everybody, members of the board and my fellow community members of the village. The reason why I wanted to come here today to address the board is some of my concerns over the past year, 1 to 2 years. I've lived in this village for 46 years, and I have never seen as much concern for the safety as we have. I have personally witnessed gun shooting right at Robin Hood Park. I've heard about the gun shooting at Yena Park. I've heard and saw on the Ring doorbell video the gun shooting at the cemetery, and a second one. My neighbor directly behind me got beaten up. I have many concerns about this in the village. I give 100% support to the police department. I actually think we need more police officers and to patrol our village a little bit better. I'm seeing more gang symbols on the bridge at 31st Street between Brainerd and the Salt Creek Bicycle Trail. I'm also seeing gang symbols on the gas pumps at 31st Street and LaGrange Road at the BP Amoco. There's also a new company that's in there, and there's a lot of vehicles that are like totaled, and I get that. It's a repair shop, but it seems like an excessive amount. I'm starting to see a lot of things in the village, which these elements, I think, are also contributing to this problem. That's why I'm here today, is to share with you my experiences that I've seen just in the past year to 2 years, and also what I've been hearing in the village. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Mine is along the same train of thought.
Ma'am, we can wait till you get up to the mic, because it's being recorded.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. I've lived here for 25 years. My name is Mary Rita Ryan. I've had discussions with you. I've had discussions with Julia. I've had discussions with the Public Works man, the multiple Public Works man. And I agree with my neighbor. I think we're losing control of the streets. I see 31st Street, the speed of people coming down, up and down 31st Street. I understand there's construction on Cermak and they're using this as an alternative route, but there's no control. I just want the police to be visible. Police aren't visible at all. Yenna Park had that shooting on that Friday. The next day, Saturday, there was some big TikTok event. Did you hear about that one?
Mhm.
With all the gangbangers up there too?
Ma'am, they're not gangbangers. I don't know where you get this. How do you
Well,
name them gangbangers?
Did you see it?
Do you know them?
Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
And
I
saw
saw it
all
with
the
my
kids
own
that were
eyes.
happy about
And
them
I think
playing
I could get the
basketball.
3 policemen.
Okay, finish. Jeremy, stop. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I saw it with my own eyes. My neighbors saw it with my own eyes, too. The event started in the afternoon. This was at 8:30 on my way to Jewel. People were nose to nose, face to face. I'll bring my other neighbor in, and he could tell you what he saw at 9 o'clock at Jewel. And there were 3 police officers up by Panera just standing there watching what was going on, waiting for the thing to explode. They left that park a mess. There were plastic cups all over the place. Nobody ever cleaned it up. They never had a permit. Nobody did anything about it. The other thing I'd like the police department to get is the meter so you could start measuring the tinted windows in this town. We used to chase people out of this town who had tinted windows. We don't do that anymore. We don't stop them. I was coming home from work. I was at 26th and Riverside Drive. The Berwyn Police Department were out there with their meter, pulling people over as a safety check, checking the tint on these windows. A lot of the problem is the tinted windows in these cars. There's a lot of crime going on behind there. Has anybody noticed the smell of skunk weed? Driving around smoking pot, pull them over. The police did do a good job Saturday night, chasing people out of town, but that could have been controlled much better than it's been controlled. The other thing I wanted to ask is
30 seconds.
Pardon me?
You have 30 seconds
30
left.
seconds
Okay.
left.
I understand Cook County is getting $1 billion for the coronavirus. I guess it's money the federal government is giving. Half of it's going to Chicago and the rest is going to communities within Cook County. How much are we getting?
I'm not sure how much we're getting yet.
When will we know?
Julia?
I know Oak Park's getting 40 million. And I'd like to suggest maybe some serious money put towards the sidewalks, the trees, and the parks. All this deferred maintenance. Have you seen our tennis courts? Have you seen our basketball courts? Have you tried to walk the sidewalks?
Yes.
Time.
Just try it.
Okay.
Drive through the neighborhood, from 31st to the woods, from the railroad tracks to 17th. Walk it. Take a look at the parks. Take a look at the basketball courts and the tennis courts in Robinson, in Yenna. They're a mess. It's disrespectful to me and everybody else who pays taxes in this town. I can't believe it's been let go like this. No respect for the parks whatsoever. What about the sidewalks? Why can't we repair sidewalks? We used to have a beautiful program. You pay for one square, I pay for the other square. Things got done. Things aren't getting done anymore.
Okay.
Thank you.
ma'am.
And I'll be back.
Good. I hope you do. Anybody else care to address the board?
I'm back. Rick
Hi,
Rios,
Rick.
last name's R-I-U-S. What I wanted to address the board about is my understanding is the Nuclear Society is getting redeveloped. And I guess a previous board had put through a zoning ordinance to make sure it's all single-family homes. Is that my understanding? Is that correct?
We're not sure what they're doing. The property's up for sale, but we're not sure where they're going.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is there's already an ordinance in place, a zoning ordinance in place, is my understanding, that whoever develops it, whatever it's sold to, has to develop it as single-family homes.
If they knock the building down, yes.
You have to knock the building down. So my only question was, and I don't know if this is the right spot, or maybe the zoning committee meeting would be, I live on the street, right across the street from the Nuclear Society. They've always been a good neighbor, never had any troubles. I don't anticipate any. But as we talked about before, some of the folks said about the flooding issues in the town, mainly on the east side, but we've had some in our area as well, on our block specifically. And when we put in, I mean, I haven't measured it out, but it looks like it could put in probably 12 to 14 single-family homes pretty easily. And along with those homes, depending on how many residents are in it, could be, you know, anywhere from 4 to 6 people in the house, along with the associated sewage needs or sewage requirements and that sort of, you know, showers, whatever. And it might present a problem, unless it's monitored properly, it might present a problem for drainage and flooding on that street and the surrounding streets. Our block, I'm on the 500 block, 600 block has some issues. Oak has a few, a little bit on Catherine as well. So I'm just putting it out there to see if that's something we can keep an eye on and make sure that, or how I can help maybe keep an eye on, or who's the right folks to talk with, that we don't let somebody overdevelop it, if you will, and not have in consideration of the needs of the village in that area, in that particular area, as it relates to sewage and drainage and that kind of thing, so that we don't overburden our public works folks and other people to do their jobs and have things done properly.
Thank
That's
you.
it. You're
Julia will take note, and we will keep you abreast since it's important. And once the developments start to occur, we will get in touch with you.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
Anyone else care to address the board? Anyone else? No one else? Okay, I'm going to take presidential privilege here. We have a great community, and one thing I will not tolerate is disrespect to the staff and to people in this community. We know there's a situation. Nobody was run out of town. The police did not chase anybody out. The event went over well. We won't discuss because that's my opinion. There were no gangbangers. There was no, you know, the problem is, ma'am, the problem is I did see it.
You weren't there. Were you there?
I saw the video. Okay, so this is not a discussion. Jeremy, stop. You know, the problem is, Jeremy, you inflame situations. You are disrespectful to the staff. He is too. You haven't heard the conversations he's had, ma'am. And I will not tolerate that talk. So it's unprofessional. Step up, Jimmer, step out. What is that supposed to mean? Well, I've asked you to meet with me personally, you won't do that, so okay. But if somebody's going to be disrespectful and say the F word consistently to our staff over the phone, I'm not going to tolerate that. When they inflame issues such as what we had and say it's racist and there's gang members and there's all this other stuff that's occurring that didn't occur, you're inflaming the situation. And it doesn't need to be inflamed. Our police were there. It was an event that happened on the go. We had everybody there. If it got out of hand, we had support. You know, things like that may happen. We just have to be prepared when they do. And there is a permit process that didn't happen. Okay, so we'll learn. The Park District has taken hold of it. The tennis courts are very costly. And I'm not making excuses, but they have put in a lot of money into the basketball courts. They're doing a project at Memorial now, an exercise court that costs a lot of money. You guys are doing a great job. There's litter, yes. but we don't have you guys walking around with garbage bags every day. And we don't have the police at every park sitting there watching every day. This is a neighborhood. If there's activity that you're not comfortable with, call the police department, call the village hall and say, hey, can you drive by and take a look? I understand the concern about what's happening, but we have everybody there. We can't be out there watching everybody.
You didn't see it.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I'll bring my other neighbor and he can tell you next time.
Perfect.
He was there at 9.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we'll move on. Any new business? Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.